Who's back? Who's back here? We gotta finish this episode up. Let's see if everybody can switch over. Obviously, we are going over the fair use, Saturday Night Live fair use episode in fair use and fair usage within the fair use. I mean, as I was explaining how much fair use we're going over on this fair use podcast about fair use in this fair use stream, it got shut down in the middle of my fair use explanation on fair use while using it in fair use. Very strange. Very, very strange. Very, very bizarre stuff here. I mean, they just really want to keep Seagal down. Everybody, there's clearly a concerted effort in this propaganda campaign against Steven Seagal. Fair use. This is all fair use. It's still fair use. And it's still fair use. I mean, do I have to stop it every half a second?
That was way too...
Still fair use. Still fair use now.
Oh, yeah.
And still fair use. It's also still fair use. I mean, look at all this fair use. Has anybody ever seen this much fair use about fair use?
Now we understand.
Still fair use. All about the fair use. I mean, look at all this fair use. Is it possible to have more fair use than the amount of fair use here about fair use on this fair use podcast about fair use using the Saturday Night Live episode in fair use? Now, is any of this funny? I mean, I don't think this is funny.
Join with me, set them free.
Fair use. Free-range chickens fair use. I mean, I don't think there's ever been this much fair use as the amount of fair use here about fair use in the fair usage of the fair use about fair use.
And now, Deep Thoughts.
Who thinks this one's actually going to be funny?
By Jack Handy.
Still fair use, by the way.
Anytime I see something screech across a room and latch onto someone's neck, and the guy screams and tries to get it off, I have to laugh, because what is that thing?
Really? I mean, this is what passes for comedy? And people think Steven Seagal's the one that's not funny? All fair use, by the way. Still fair use. I mean, look at this black screen of fair use. I mean, that's just all fair use there. And still fair use. I mean, look at all that fair usage. I mean, it's just non-stop fair use. All fair use. Still fair use.
You know...
Oh, this one's pretty fun.
Hello. You must be Jennifer's date, Doug, right?
Yeah.
Still fair use.
This is Novak. Hi. Come on in. Sit down. Sit down.
I mean, look at all this Chris Farley fair use.
Jennifer will be a jiffy.
You know, Mrs. Novak, I can see where Jennifer gets her good looks. You're an older lady. You're holding up pretty well.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Wish my mom looked as good as you. She's a sow.
Well, I'm sure that your mother is beautiful in her own way.
No.
Chris Farley is kind of funny.
Well, uh-huh. Oh, honey, hi.
I mean, Seagal just kind of takes all the screen presence. He just steals it all whenever he's on screen.
Hey, look, this is Jennifer's date, Doug. This is Jennifer's dad.
Mr. Novak? I think this kid needs an ashtray.
Okay, I'll go get it.
So, you're graduating this year? I might.
Seagal and Chris Farley are actually kind of awesome. I would totally watch a buddy cop movie with Seagal and Chris Farley. I mean, look at the comedic fair use genius of Steven Seagal in this fair use skit.
Well, do you have any plans?
No.
I mean, how do people think this isn't funny? I mean, Seagal might be the best Saturday Night Live host ever.
No plans.
No. That makes me very nervous. You know, people who see my daughter should have plans.
Well, I like shop, and I'm real good with cars.
Well, that's good, because I guess that means in the middle of the night I won't get a phone call that your car broke down and that's why you were late or anything like that, will I?
No.
That's good.
Oh, okey-doke. So here's this ashtray. You seem to be getting along just fine. Is
Still fair use, by the way.
everything okay?
I think Dougie here needs soda.
Okay, I'll go get it.
I mean, just look at the tension here that Seagal is able to command with literally any actor.
Man, your daughter sure does take her time.
What?
Oh, man. I mean, Seagal's literally funny no matter what he's doing. I mean, this level of comedic genius, I don't think anybody can accomplish this like Seagal can.
Does that bother you?
No. No.
It's a nice watch you've got there.
Yeah, my grandmother gave it to me last year for graduation.
I mean, this is actually kind of funny. I mean, how do people think this isn't funny or Seagal isn't the greatest comedic genius of all time?
Well, I'm glad she did, because I guess that means that I won't be getting a phone call from you that you lost track of time or anything like that, will I?
No, probably not. Not with my new watch.
Whoa, Doug! Hey, Doug, you're looking good, man.
Still fair use.
Hey, Randy.
I heard you might graduate this year.
Might.
I mean, the thing that makes this all funny, obviously, is Seagal. Like, the interaction here, the facial expressions. I mean, look at Seagal's mastery here.
Is that your car out there? Wow, it looks so cool from here. Did you clean it or what?
Still fair use.
Why don't you go out and look at it? I'm sure Dougie won't mind.
Just don't touch it, man.
Oh, whoa, cool. Cool car.
So what are you planning to do this evening with my daughter?
We're gonna party. Hope you don't mind.
Not just his timing, South to West in the chat saying Seagal's comic timing is unmatched. Not just his timing, but the facial expressions. I mean, they're just so on point here. I mean, this is so on point.
Well, I guess it wouldn't matter if I did, because I wouldn't be there at the time.
Lord said in the chat saying Seagal would crush a De Niro meet the parents type role like this where he's the chick's dad. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, it should be a sitcom. Can you imagine a meet the parents sitcom with Seagal?
I'd be here waiting.
Yes, sir. What are you reading?
Still fair use, by the way. I mean, look at this fair use.
This is called Silent Killers.
Is it any good?
It's very informative.
Okey-doke. Here's your soda, Doug. Hey, honey, how about some coffee? I've got some decaf back there. You want some?
Herbal tea, honey.
Herbal tea. I'll go get it.
I mean, how fantastic would a Seagal sitcom have been?
All right, I checked out the car. The left rear tire is a little worn, but he's got a spare, and the jack works. The oil's okay. The pan is scuffed, but not leaking. The tie rods need new brakes.
How about the brakes?
Brakes? Oh, the front pads are good. The rear shoes are a little worn. He's got a U-joint that's about to go bad, but it'll get him there and back.
I mean, look at Seagal's expressions here. I mean, just so on point. Has there ever been a greater comedic genius than Steven Seagal? Still fair use, by the way.
Oh, and I found this in the glove compartment. It's a fake ID. It says he's 25.
Get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Listen, son, I know that you think that I may be a little bit old-fashioned or something like that, but I have something that I'd kind of like to show you that has great significance to me.
Oh, it's a tattoo.
Yeah. Something, just a little something that I got overseas.
Getting a little bit of lag here. Alright, should be good to go. Okay.
I was part of the SKC unit when I was there.
Ah, what's that?
That's nothing in particular. I was a paid assassin.
You know what's crazy? If Seagal really was an assassin...
Okay, here's the tea. Oh, is he showing you that tattoo?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess he told you that story about the man in the Philippines that he killed, too.
Assassinated, honey.
Assassinated, but you were working for the government, dear. He always leaves that part out.
You know what's kind of weird, though? Again, fair use here. So, Seagal, I mean, obviously, it's known Seagal mentioned that he worked with people who worked for the CIA. And he did some kind of security operations. But they literally made it part of the skit. What does that mean?
Hi, Doug.
Oh.
Sorry you had to wait.
Hi, sweetheart. How are
Don't you look sweet? Yeah.
You know, it's a little chilly out. I think she needs a sweater.
Yes, you need a sweater, sweetie. I'll go get it.
I mean, everything about the timing here is just absolutely hilarious.
What time do you want me to come home, Daddy?
Oh, with me, it really doesn't matter at all. I could care less. Let's just leave that up to him.
Well, I was thinking I'd have Jennifer home by 10.
What?
9:30.
Yeah, I guess that sounds okay.
Okay.
I mean, this is a million times more hilarious than any scene that Seagal was not in. I mean, look at what we just watched prior to that, to this.
Hey, well, I guess I'll see you later.
Well, I guess I will be waiting here.
Still fair use. What a weird show. Still fair use, by the way. All fair use all the time here on the Fair Use Podcast.
Moment on, Bray Stone dedicates his life to fighting crimes against the environment. Under the tutelage of master photographer Yoshi Akiro, he is initiated into the mysteries of Zen nature photography.
Still fair use.
The ecological crimes of major corporations can take place only under the darkness of secrecy, like the darkness of this darkroom. But when the light of photographic documentation is let in...
I mean, everything is made funny by Seagal just being there. Yes, Heracles, this appears to be autobiographical.
the darkness is dispelled, and these ecological criminals are exposed.
And keep in mind, this is 1991, so this is way before On Deadly Ground.
Like the rolls of film, and their evil schemes are ruined.
Still fair use, by the way.
Like whatever pictures were on these rolls of film.
I mean, Seagal's entire screen presence is just absolutely incredible. I mean, it almost like it's like a tuning fork that just tunes to whatever genre, whatever he's doing. In this case, comedy, and he's absolutely hilarious.
Those pictures were of my vacation in Swahili land.
Ah, you are angry at me for ruining of vacation photos, are you not, my son?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Do not give in to anger, my son, for anger leads to violence, and only the path of non-violence leads to ecological wholeness.
I mean, just look at his expression. I mean, this is incredible.
I understand.
From that moment on, Bray Stone ceases to exist. He becomes Bray Steel.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a nature show with Seagal? I mean, and if the odd bear or crocodile does get out of line, I mean, obviously Seagal can handle him.
Greenpeace photographer, using his camera to document crimes against the environment.
I mean, this is why they hated Seagal as the host, because he actually tried to implant legitimacy, morality into the show, which it's clearly incompatible with. Still fair use, by the way, all fair use, all the time.
Gentlemen, this is the area of our proposed 1992 oil spill. The big one.
I mean, what are they trying to say here? An intentional oil spill by Exxon? Interesting.
The granddaddy of them all. It'll make the Exxon Valdez look like a leaking milk carton.
Still fair use, by the way.
The first phase of the spill will take place off the Monterey Peninsula. Slide.
Wow. Look at that fair use slide. Still about fair use here on the Fair Use Podcast. All fair use, all the time.
The operation will be carried out by members of our special commando unit, Bill. Well, a team of Exxon frogmen will place a charge of check-made Centac explosives in the hull of our supertanker, the SS Hazelwood.
Still fair use here.
Spilling nearly 7 billion gallons of sweet crude into the breeding grounds of the California gray otter.
Man, look at all this fair use going on here. Is it possible to have any more fair use than the amount of fair use going on here with the fair use?
Slide. Now, following the operation, the frogmen will have their throats slit by members of our elite Exxon assassination squad. Yes, Amory.
Mr. Bradbury, what if one of these assassins should talk?
I was getting to that, Bill. Well, the assassination squad won't be doing any talking. Not after they perish in a devastating forest fire that will completely destroy Yosemite National Park.
I mean, this is a dark skit. Yeah, dark.
Slide.
Bradbury?
I mean, look at all this fair use going on here. I mean, is it possible to have more fair use?
Yes.
Mr. Bradbury, it's President Bush on the phone.
I'm in a meeting.
He's been waiting over an hour.
Well, okay. George.
Mr. Bradbury, thanks for picking up here. I know you're busy. I just wanted to tell you I'm at your disposal. You tell me what you want me to do.
Shane 187 in the chat here. This skit reminds me of the government in real life. I mean, they're definitely doing a wink and a nod here. Definitely.
I'll do it.
Oh, nothing yet, George. By the way, I got you on the speakerphone, so if you hear an echo...
Well, the speaker? Yeah. That makes me a little nervous, you know. If word were to get out that I was nothing but a lackey of the big oil companies, well...
It's a little late for that.
Why, if it isn't Brace Steele, Greenpeace photographer.
I mean, there's about to be a lot of fair use breaking right now. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fair use bones getting fair use broken.
I'm sorry to spoil all of your fun.
Oh, you won't be spoiling our fun, Mr. Steele. We'll be spoiling yours. You see, you don't have a thing on us.
Oh, no? I've got evidence. Photographic evidence.
And what might that be, Mr. Steele?
I've got a picture of you saying that this oil spill will be the granddaddy of them all.
I mean, his delivery is just so on point. I mean, how could anybody argue against the comedic genius that is Steven Seagal?
I've got a picture of you talking about Exxon hit teams and assassinations. And perhaps the most interesting, a picture of you listening to the President of the United States on speakerphone as he reveals his part in the conspiracy.
South to West in the chat here. Future law students will study this stream as a prime example of fair use. Indeed. Indeed.
You'll never make this stick, Steele. It won't hold up in court.
Oh, I think it will.
I'll just say we were talking about something else.
Such as?
Exxon company business, drilling for oil, something like that.
Maybe. But the press will be very interested to know why the President of the United States was talking to you on the speakerphone.
Well, I'll just say it wasn't the President on the phone, but somebody else.
Such as?
An Exxon company employee, an oil driller, say.
I mean, look at all this fair use going on in this incredible fair use skit about fair use and the environment.
We'll see.
In the meantime, Mr. Steele, the only crime of which we have any real evidence is your trespass on Exxon company property.
Maybe.
I wonder what's about to go down now. I wonder what could possibly happen now. I mean, there's about to be a ton of fair use going on here. A ton of fair use.
We'll be sending you on your way now, Mr. Steele, but not before we explain to you our company policy on trespassing.
Wow, that's the most Seagal's ever been hit in any movie. I mean, look at this. This is incredible. I mean, he's breaking new ground here.
What's the matter, Mr. Steele? Don't you fight back? Oh, I forgot. You Greenpeace types are all pacifists, aren't you? Yeah. We're all kind of non-violent guys. That's what I thought. Gentlemen, indulge yourselves.
What's the matter, pacifist? You chicken?
I mean, look at all this fair use going down here in this fair use stream.
Hey, pacifist, how do you like this? Huh?
I mean, this is the most Steven Seagal has ever been hit in all of his movies combined.
You like that? Too bad you can't fight back.
Remember, my son, only the path of nonviolence leads to ecological wholeness.
Yeah, wussy queen. Come
Wussy queen?
Come on, pacifist, come on. Yeah, come on, what's the...
Still fair use. Look at all this fair use going on. Has anybody ever seen more fair use than the amount of fair use in this fair use stream about fair use?
Wimp.
Come on, Shirley, huh? What are you, a big girl, huh? What are you, big
Yes.
Thank
Clearly, anybody claiming Seagal never gets hit is wrong.
You, Judge. Nice work. You're a real team player. An Exxon player. Gentlemen, good news. The judge has just reduced our fine for the Alaskan spill from $2 billion to $160, payable in easy installment.
What?
That's right, Steele. You heard me. $160. Oh,
Still fair use. Look at all this fair use going
don't
on.
worry. It'll be reduced on appeal.
Still more fair use going on here, and look at the just the political statement against these corrupt oil execs.
Now that makes me violent.
Just the ease in which he tossed that fool. I mean, just absolutely incredible.
This is what happens when you pollute the planet.
I mean, look at that delivery. The positive messages here. I mean, this is why they couldn't handle Steven Seagal, because he's not on board with their degenerate Illuminati agenda. Still fair use, by the way. I mean, how much more fair use could it be? Look at that fair use black screen of fair use.
Thank you all very much for coming tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you, Michael Bolton, and thank you all. Thank you.
What a gracious host. All fair use all the time here on the Fair Use podcast with Bruce Fair Use McGuire. I mean, look how honored they are to have Seagal there, only to backstab him after the fact and claim he was the worst host ever, where he appears to be the greatest host ever. I mean, is his comedic genius not unrivaled here? All fair use all the time, still fair use here. I mean, look at all these people honored to be in the presence of the great one himself, Steven Seagal. Look at all this fair usage going on. Just all fair use. All the time. Look at those gifts. Look at those fair use gifts. I I mean, there's just so much fair usage going on here with all this fair use. Could there possibly be any more fair use?